My mom helps me out a ton with this. This is like if Norman Bates was making a comic. This is this is it.
Awesome, dude. Hey guys, welcome to Inside Comics with George Michail. Really quick, if you like this kind of content, subscribe and tell a friend about it. Today I'm joined by MATT GONOS. Thanks so much for being on the show, dude.
Oh, thanks for having me, George. This is great. This is a lot of fun.
Awesome. So you have a new project out. It's really fascinating. It's called Bad Thoughts 3, and it's kind of like a claymation comic book thing.
It's similar. Yes, it's the same idea as stop motion, but actually there's no clay in it. They're actually made out of leather. Believe it or not, I make the puppets like little cadavers.
That is horrifying.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about writing horror, making horror comic books. What scares you, and how do you put that into your books?
I spend a lot of time thinking about this kind of stuff. What are the if you try to break down the aspects of horror, what is it that causes people to be uncomfortable? And I think one of the big things is closeness. So, like, if you have a situation where there's you and then the thing that is threatening you, the closer that thing gets to you before before you can recognize it as a threatening thing, that moment that you realize that it is threatening you, it I think that is a powerful moment in horror. And the closer that thing can be to you when a person makes that realization, I love that. I mean, the whole aspect of like a person being afraid of something, I'm in love with it. It's my life's passion, and everything about like getting under someone's skin. And I think closeness has a big part to play in that in all kinds of ways. Closeness personally. It could be a person that you trusted. So it's not just physical closeness; it's also psychological closeness. Um,
Oh, one of the most terrified I've ever been is we went to Silverwood Amusement Park in Washington State, and they had like a Halloween time, and it was just at
oh yeah.
nighttime, and so you're doing all the different haunted houses, right? And it's good fun. I like people jumping out and going bah, and that sort of thing. It's good. But the one that I didn't like, the haunted house I didn't like was. It was pitch black. Before you go into the house, they blast you with like super bright lights, and then it's kind of like a sensory deprivation where you can't see where you're going, and then the tent they started to like fill in so that it would be like touching you, and you're like crawling and you're trying to get out of this place, and it's like a maze, and so I got lost, and then there's like little spider webs, and it was just like so claustrophobic, and normally I don't have a problem with that, but I did not like that. And they warned us. They said, don't turn on your cell phones. That ruins it for everyone. Keep it dark in there. I was like 2
Oh,
minutes
I
away
love
from turning
that.
on my phone because I just could not find my way out of there, and I did not like it. So that feeling of just being surrounded and in a tight space, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, being trapped, being restricted, that's another thing that gets under people's skin. I love those kinds of interactive horror experiences. That's if my life were to go in the direction that I hope the most, I would be building that kind of stuff, like Halloween attractions, horror haunts and the like, things like that.
Your books seem to have a bit of humor to them too, though. Hey, like there's a bit of lightness with the dark.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Um,
think you know what that's another aspect of horror I think is great is people I think are driven by either love of something, love, joy, or fear. right? Those are the three things that motivate people to action. So when you have a kind of a back and forth with those things, you give people you give the reader a little bit of that roller coaster of trying to get to that point, a little stronger, if you touch on each of those three motivations.
Yeah, I find it so much more impactful if you have a little bit of it's scary and there's a little bit of levity and then scary again, and it just takes your emotions for a ride.
Oh yeah, and you want especially with a comic book, you want to get as much enjoyment out of it as possible. There's got to be moments that make you uncomfortable. If you're making horror, you got to horrify people somehow. I didn't come up with that one. I read that somewhere, but that's you have to horrify people, but you also, if you're making a comic, I don't know if you're making uh, content so often. It takes me a while to make one of these, so I try to fill it with as much enjoyment as possible, as much rereading value as you can get out of stuff like that. Make it so that it's a fun thing to have.
I can't wait any longer. Can you tell me what's going on behind you there? It's kind of
Oh
creeping me out.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so this is I to go with the oh well, I'll give you my little pitch of this is I can't draw, right, so I have to make comics this way. I make basically a stop motion set. I make these puppets, these characters. This is the host. He's like my crypt keeper type of character, but you can see his face and his body. It's essentially an animation puppet, but the skin is made of leather. The bodies are filled with guts and innards and stuff. I make the teeth the same way dentures are made, so I try to fill them with as much life and realism as possible. This is the face of one of them peeled off.
No, no, no,
and
no. That's scary.
and what's cool about this is that makes it so that everything that you see in the comic book is happening. It physically exists. So like this is I'm in my third issue now, so this is the monster for that third issue. You can see there's another flower back there. It's a whole bunch of flowers, and it grows into something else. But whatever this thing does to people, I do to the puppets. So like this guy bites into someone, I'll cut into the leather and I'll pull out the meat inside and inflict the damage onto the character that would happen to them in the story. So you end up I try to make it very theatrical. I try to make it like a going to a horror theater performance, but on the page. So I have all of these characters, and they basically play out. Here you can see one of their hands. This is a piece from that I did for the cover of the book. And every issue's got a new monster, a new cast of characters, new story, and um, I just try to make it bigger each time. The first issue, I did it entirely on a dinner table. I built all of the stuff, the whole set. It was just one room and a little bit of an apartment, and then I built a bigger set. And then for this third one, it's completely outlandish. It's ridiculous. I made it so that it's modular, so it could come apart and be small, so I don't have to have the whole thing put together all the time. Um, I
And
don't
this
think I'll make a set that big again soon.
this is a
but
big story too, right? You have 72 pages.
oh yeah, this new one is the longest one yet. It's 72 pages, and you get a beginning, middle, and end
Awesome.
to the
And
story.
what is the story for Bad Thoughts 3?
Bad Thoughts 3 is about this flower monster who terrorizes a group of small business owners. So a group of people get together in this house, and uh, this thing eats a bunch of them, and it doesn't just eat them. It kills people in a couple of different ways. But it's a murderous plant, and that's the basic story. There's if you read all of the issues, you don't even have to read them in order. You could read them out of order or wherever. But if you read them all, you'll see that there is another story taking place in the background. There's a mystery to the town that all the characters live in. You'll see not there's always new main characters, but you'll see like there's some of the side characters have appeared in multiple issues. So there's a lot going on that gets revealed in throughout the progression of the stories, but each one is like a just a very simple wild story of, in this case, a flower monster attacks this party full of people at a house. The before that, a cannibal from space comes down and attacks a bunch of people in a bar. The one before that was just on a little table was a creature tries to kidnap a young boy from his bedroom, and that's something I'm sure I'm like obsessed with stuff like that too. So that's a spooky thing to happen.
How long does it take you to put one of these books together?
It takes. I'm trying to do. My goal is to now try to do one a year. It's they've gotten bigger each. The set is bigger, more characters and everything. But I've kind of refined the process a little bit. I'm trying to make it more efficient as best I can. But it takes a lot. It's a lot to build each one of the people, to build the set. It's just a lot of work. But I am moving faster with it now.
It sounds like it's a passion project.
Oh yeah. This is I've sold my soul to it.
And it's on Bad Thoughts 3 is on Kickstarter right now. But if people want to pick up issues 1 and 2, can they also do that?
Yeah, you can get that. You can get that on the Kickstarter now. I also always sell them on my Etsy store. But for the length of the Kickstarter, that's the best place to go right now to see everything. I also have like this T-shirt is one of the things that you can get from the Kickstarter. And you would have had to be there on the first day to do this, but I do also sell pieces of the characters and stuff, in the Kickstarter. So for this one, I had one of the guy's hands gets ripped off, so I put it in a glass case, and I sold that, and another guy loses 2 hands, and I also sold one of the flowers, actually. That is the monster. So that's something I'll keep doing. I started doing that with this one, but every time, if you get there right away, you can possibly get a piece of the production.
That's super cool, dude. Matt Gonos, I want to thank you for being on Inside Comics. Bad Thoughts is on Kickstarter right now. There's a link to the Kickstarter. There's a link to Matt's Etsy store in the description of this video. So guys, make sure you click on those links and go and check out this project a bit more. Matt, thanks so much for being on the show, dude.
Oh, George, thanks so much for having me. This was great. This was so much fun.
Awesome. Peace, man.